Hi, I'm Andrew, and this is Franklin, and in today's episode of the Unpopular Views, we're going to talk about why I chose Vanlife. Hello, and welcome along to episode 1 of the Unpopular Views. This is all about why and how I decided to choose van life or living in a van. So let's get into it. Just before we get started, I will say that it's my first YouTube video, so please be a little bit easy on me. And if you do like anything, click the like button. I'd love you to subscribe. It does mean a lot. Thank you very much if you do. So first of all, I just want to say that living in a van, this is not my first experience of it. I was travelling in Australia for 18 months and it was brilliant. We had a van for all of it. Travelled from Brisbane right up to Cairns, down to Melbourne. It was absolutely incredible, and loved living in a van, and it did give me a good idea of what it was going to be like for this one. So that's quite important that I'd say that it's not my first experience, but that was brilliant. So when I was back in the UK, I realised that I wasn't enjoying living the life that I was supposed to be living. So I had a good job, I was an electrician, and it paid well, but I didn't have any work-life balance. I seemed to be working all the time. I didn't enjoy that, and it just didn't feel right. So that was a big factor in all of this. Because of that, I started looking into van life. Started looking into kind of some YouTube videos and some other things like that. I will take this opportunity to say that van life isn't for everybody. So don't think that this is suitable for everyone. And I understand that. I understand that this lifestyle doesn't suit everybody and doesn't suit the way that people want to live. It's definitely not really accepted in society as such at the minute, so that's quite an important part to note. But the parts that I did like about it are the minimalistic side of it. You kind of bring everything everywhere with you, makes life quite easy like that. The slow pace of it, I was caught up, I wouldn't say in a rat race in the UK, but kind of in that. So but the slow pace of van life attracted me to it a lot. You seem to have a lot more free time, doing the things that you wanted to do, so much better work-life balance, which was quite important for me. A lot more time in the outdoors. I love being in the outdoors. Love spending time in the mountains, spending time with Franklin, just doing those kind of things. And it obviously involves a lot of travelling. And travelling for me was a big part of it, and it's been a big part of my life all the way through, so that seemed really important as well. So what I did then was I started to break it down, very very literally, and made a bit more sense of it, whether or not it was possible, whether or not what I saw online was true, whether or not people embellished the fact of it, which I think a lot do, but because it's not all sweet smelling roses. There is some bad sides to it as well, but I wanted to break it down, the pros and the cons. And for me, I always like to look at things quite financially as well, quite strategically. So that is what I did for van life, and that's exactly what I'm going to explain in the next kind of 5-10 minutes. I wanted to compare how much it cost me living in a house compared to how much it cost me to live in a van. So I took all of the costs that I had from living in a house. These are costs that are specific to a house, and I didn't include things that I would be paying either way, whether I was living in a house or living in a van. So I'm just going to get into some of these now. So let's break down how much the house cost. So, first of all, I'd take either rent or mortgage. Well, mortgage, I wouldn't take all of it. I'd just take the interest that you were paying on the mortgage, because I class a mortgage as almost like a savings scheme. But definitely the interest that you pay on it is essentially a tax. So, if you're paying rent, then take the full rent amount into it. But for me, mortgage, so I took the interest that I was paying on the mortgage. I had a £160,000 mortgage, and I was paying £340 interest a month on that. That's just interest on the loan. Then I've got council tax, which was £130 for me. TV licence monthly was a tenner. Sky TV, 65 quid. Subscription, so like Nat Geo, Netflix, Amazon Prime, £21 a month for those. Gym membership, 18 quid. Dog walker for Frank, I had £85 a month. I had 2 vehicles, so I counted vehicles in this. So I've got work van and my own vehicle. They came to about £275. I did take into account some depreciation in those vehicles as well. So obviously when you buy them, they go down in value. So I took that into account as well. My bills for living at home, about £90 a month. Gas, water, electric, heating across the year. House insurance, that was £12 a month, and internet was £24 a month. All that totaled up came to £1,070, and that to me is the cost of living in a house. So in my opinion, that is the price that you pay to live in a house. You get no gains from that whatsoever. That is just how much it costs to live in a house. That's not any investment. That's not moving forward in life. That's standing still. That is just what you need to earn. What I needed to earn before I could even think about going to the pub, going to a restaurant, going on holiday, anything like that. So I needed to earn £1,070. That is £12,840 a year. Just to live, just to stand still, just to have somewhere to sleep, a roof over my head, etc., etc. There are some things in there that I could probably cut out. Subscriptions, I could maybe do about Netflix, for example. Arguably I could have one vehicle and I could just use my van to go around everywhere. I mean, that's probably at Sky TV. Maybe could live without Sky TV, but generally that was what I factored into living in a house, and that was what it was costing me. So then I compared that figure to how much it would cost me to live in a van, and to live in a van, the same figures, the same things that you absolutely can't do without your insurance, road tax, MOT. And then I've included in that some bills and laundry costs as well. So insurance, road tax and MOT for the van over the whole period of time are £98 a month. So £98 a month flat. Bills come to roughly, well, it was £19 in winter, but that's heating the van, etc., etc. I'm expecting it to be a lot less in summer, because the only thing I'll be using the gas for in summer is cooking. So I'm probably looking at averaging my bills out at around £15 a month, I'd say, probably about that, which is a significant reduction. And then I've also got laundry on top, because obviously laundry was just for me part of living in a house. You had laundry facilities. Living in a van, I don't have the same facilities, so laundry cost me approximately £16 a month. So all in all, that costs me about £129 a month, which is, as you can tell, is a massive reduction on the £1,070 that I was paying. It's about 9 times less than what it was. So by making the switch, I saved myself roughly £900 to £950 a month, around that figure, which is massive. You know, after tax, you're talking 1,000. You need to earn £1,200 taxed on it, etc., etc., to get that £900. £1,200 a month is a lot of money to be earning just to be standing still, and you know, that was why I decided that financially it seemed like a good idea. In that, I haven't even included holidays. If you include holidays, you know, if you're lucky enough to go on 2 holidays a year at £2,000, you know, for a couple of weeks away, flights, accommodation, eating, etc., etc., I think £2,000 is quite reasonable. You know, there's another £4,000. That's £350 a month. It's another £350 a month on top of that, that you don't really factor in with van life. So that's a massive consideration as well. It was for me. There are some things that I haven't included in that figure, like, for example, food, phone bills, fuel, but these are all things that I think you spend whether you live in a house or a van or a castle or, you know, anywhere. These are all things that I spend regardless of whether they are there or not. So for me, they're constant and they don't really change no matter where you live. So they aren't factored into this case scenario. So with that, I worked it out financially. Then I looked at the pros and cons of it as well. So pros to living in the van are a very minimalistic lifestyle. It's very cheap. You have a great life balance, always in the outdoors. You get to do a lot of travelling, and it really is very environmentally friendly as well. And I'll go into that in a bit more detail in another video, and explain how and why it's environmentally friendly, because it may not sound like it because my home has an engine, but it definitely is. And I'll explain that in another video. The cons to living in a van are it's a very small space, you're away from the friends and family a lot, and society doesn't really understand it, society doesn't really accept it, and that can make things a bit difficult, and it can be a really big factor for some people. But for me personally, the pros far outweighed the cons, and hence why I'm now giving you this video, this vlog, from inside my Mercedes Sprinter. And that's it. So thank you very much for watching. If you've liked anything, please hit the like and subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate anyone subscribing. I'll be bringing you everything van life,